All right, first knee-jerk reactions from everybody. Let's get out of 10. Since this is the most traditional showcase, that is the old school way of, grading these showcases. Chat, you're involved as well. Some of you missed some of it, but of what you saw, we'll start with Fern.
With me?
Yeah.
Pretty good. I'm gonna go 8.5.
And call out one thing that really, before we do our recap and stuff, like what's the one thing that really, you don't even have to go into detail.
I really liked, as far as like new stuff that I saw, or new to me at least, was Flintlock.
Yeah.
The Siege of Dawn.
Let me.
That looks pretty sick.
Remind me when we get to our recap. I have an email about that, so I'll have some more details there. Fish.
Yes.
What is your? Oh wait, did you give it out of 10?
Yeah, I said
8.5.
8.5. Fish. What is your out of 10?
Honestly, for content,
I thought you were gonna say 4. I was like, holy shit.
No, for content, like what they showed today, I'd give it like a 9. For the diversity of games, I'd give it a 10. Because like they showed everything from first-person shooters to platformers to RPGs to flight simulators to racing simulators to all this, shit that not a lot of people would enjoy. But there's something. Well, there was something there for every single person in the industry. Call out for me, just off knee jerk, was probably, I would say maybe Plague Tale.
Okay.
It was nice to see some like real gameplay for that.
Yeah.
For the first time. Other than that, like seeing good updates for like Sea of Thieves, Fallout 76, Grounded, even seeing huge updates like that was great to see.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. No one in chat has a full rating yet, but yeah, I think I would lean. It's just I probably lean 8.5. I want to go higher because the highs were high, but when we compare to even some of the indie showcases, and this is one of the things we were talking about, there is a really great variety of things, right? But there are a decent amount of chunks of time where it's like, okay, I can tune out,
Yeah.
and it feels like with the indie showcases, you never can. Like, you're kind of like, oh, I gotta stay in. And again, that's great because there's someone out there that's probably the very opposite, where nothing's really speaking to them, all show long, and then Flight Simulator comes up, they're like, oh shit, new content, then they freak out, oh, I can't wait. But for me personally, there was more times for me to say, I felt comfortable enough to get up and go to the bathroom. I have not done that during any show up till now. And I think that's a mini testament to that fact. Kat says 8 out of 10 because of the variety, but there wasn't a game that was like, oh god, I have to play. I think I kind of agree with that. Nothing really was like, I need that right now. Another thing that is into yesterday's recap that'll come out at some point today, that I talk about, is in a lot of those showcases from yesterday, you end a trailer and it says play the demo now, right? It says you could try this right now. And while I do want to shout out that, again, Game Pass being a thing and knowing that all these games, like, I don't think there was maybe like 2 or 3 games that didn't have the play day one on Game Pass tag at the end. Like, all of these games you can play when they come out, but I think the cool and exciting thing about the E3 experience are the games that, yeah, you can hop in and play that day, you know.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
there's not really that in this whole entire show.
Mhm.
But it was a really, really, really fun show. And we'll do some recap. We're not gonna watch all of Redfall. We'll watch some of these early things that people missed. What was Aura again? Oh, that was
the city builder.
Yeah, city builder RTS ish.
Yeah.
Scoring we can skip because no one needs to see that again. No one needs to.
On a limb, sales gross. Get it, limb?
I got it. It's a good one. But yeah, it was again. I think they have a kind of. Sorry, I'm just first tweet I see on the feed as I get some of the recap stuff going. If we can fucking Starfield, it might be the perfect game. And you have to be able to, right?
Wait, what?
What do you mean? Wait, what? You could. It's a story-driven RPG, like Skyrim and Fallout. You could fuck in those games.
What?
What?
You didn't
in
know?
Skyrim and Fallout? Yeah, you can hella fuck.
You're lying, right?
No,
no meme, dude. Dead ass.
I mean, it's not like you're pushing X to thrust, X to thrust, but you
like, hey,
romance
let's
someone
go to the back room,
yeah.
and then it fade to black, and ooh,
and then come back and like that was fun.
Yeah.
Whack.
Julie Watts, press X to thrust.
After Dusk Falls, or as
That's
Dusk, as Dusk Falls was a, it's good to see that again. That's why it wasn't a huge highlight for me. We've seen it a few different times now.
For me, I put that on my list because I don't know if I just missed
right.
in the other showings or whatever, but they mentioned
the multiplayer.
that it's multiplayer.
I think that was
yeah.
8.
They had a whole showcase. They had a whole like segment of the developers talking about it during Tribeca, and they did not talk about that at all.
Yeah, and that's super interesting.
I'll try to look into seeing if we can find some information about how that works because this is now the second game where it's a heavy narrative experience that also is saying we have multiplayer in this. So curious to see how that manifests in these different games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess we'll just hop in and start looking at some of the stuff from the showcase. So they opened the show literally. You know, I was hoping there would be an opening sizzle reel because we, as I mentioned, we were like running into the show and missed the first like 20 seconds of this as we were bringing ourselves live. But they literally opened like it counted down to 0 and then faded up on this trailer basically. A full gameplay sequence for Redfall, which is the 4-player cooperative immersive sim shooter experience from the creators of Prey and Dishonored, Arcane. It takes place in a city in Manhattan, I believe, that's trapped within a curse bubble of some sorts, started by some vampires in the city, and you and a crew of 4 people, or a crew of 4 people go that happen to just be in the city. It's not like they're coming in and they have, you know, they're a team. They just all happen to be there and they all happen to have similar interests. There's like one who's like a crypto necromancy, like not crypto like the money, like cryptozoology is what I meant to say, which is like, you know, chasing after Bigfoot and stuff. A former, I think one of them's like a former vampire or something like that. One of them's like I'm forgetting all of the character backgrounds right now, but they all come together to fight here. Yeah, and now that I'm really, we were so late to the party, Oscar, that I wasn't really paying attention. But I agree. I think this is mostly for the trailer, though. Yeah. There's no way the game's fight sequences and things are so scripted that they're able to like have all this dialogue like this. You know, I have a feeling.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like they're like running around like shooting like, ah yes, this is me. I am X person. Wow, this is crazy.
Jacob. Oh, thank God.
And just even the way they're interacting here, like there will be some of that, of course, like in a lot of these games, but
you know, Redfall
not on the
straight out of a postcard. A picturesque island.
Same scale as this trailer we're showing.
The bustling downtown. The
I do like the idea. I think each character has specialties as far as the initial cinematic trailer showed. Like each one has like a different set of skills, so it's interesting in that way of like it's not like you get to build your character. So when it comes to co-op, lots of fights will break out between, oh, I want to be the guy that has the, you know, magic powers. Oh, I want to be the sniper, you know. That'll be an interesting thing. I'm curious how that works if you play alone, if you can switch on the fly or what. But the idea of I love the games like Dishonored. Yeah, so Jacob is a sniper. We got a little engineer robot guy. The main character that's been talking is has like magic stuff.
Last but not least, yours truly. I have these weird powers.
It feels like this is Bethesda capitalizing on a bunch of different things. Like even that the magic there kind of was reminiscent of Ghostwire. I haven't played it fully myself yet, but felt similar enough. And what I was saying, yeah, the idea of playing a game like Dishonored and Prey, where the whole, you know, gameplay style is approach it however you want. You know, go into a scenario and you can either stealth, you can go in from under the house, you can go in, there's a rooftop entrance, there's an open window over here, you know, like there's like so many different ways to approach something, but now being able to do that in a group setting sounds really interesting, right? Like you just there they showed like taking out a group of enemies all at once stealthily, like all right, 3, 2, 1, fire, you know. Just sounds really interesting, and I'm curious to see how this fully manifests. Do you have any takes of your own here about what you saw in the gameplay here? I know you were saying, yeah, the dialogue stuff was a little weird, but it seems like that's not that was purely for the trailer, in my opinion. But
yeah, no, I mean it looks like a fun game with friends. I feel like without, you know, a group of 4 people, it's gonna not be as great. But excited to play it with the buds.
Yeah,
so it looks almost like you took the visuals just based on visual. It looks like a Back 4 Blood, but with like powers.
Well, see, I think that's the thing that maybe is misleading about this is, again, as far as I know, the gameplay itself is gonna be more like a Dishonored, Prey, even what was the new one again? I can't remember the name. The one with the time loop. Come on, that was also Bethesda. Time loop. I streamed it. Deathloop.
Deathloop, yeah.
Yeah.
The one with the time loop.
You know, like that's the gameplay, and like they're almost like I can see, you know, seeing this trailer and thinking it was something a little different. But I hope it has some of those narrative elements, because if it does, for me, I definitely be okay playing that alone, because I'm so used to that. I'm actually wondering if the multiplayer experience like kind of ruins that. Just the exploratory elements of those games. Like if with multiplayer, you're kind of feeling the drive to keep pushing and keep like shooting and keep fighting.
Yeah, they did say it's open world, so be interesting.
It'd be cool if it was so open world that like you really could just be off doing your own things. Like, oh, I'm in a story mission. Oh, me too, over here. You know, like you're just doing completely different things. So that was Redfall. For those that missed it, yes, this is Hollow Knight Silksong. People have been waiting for this forever. It's one of those games when was it announced? So let me see. It was announced in 2019. And it was announced only for PC and Switch and Mac and Linux. But exciting to see that it's here.
Exciting.
Oh, that's why you keep getting. So I mean, they are calling this a full sequel, but it started as a DLC for the first game. That was from the their Kickstarter campaign. Yeah, I mean, if I like Hollow Knight, but I didn't like lose my mind over it like a lot of people did. And I mean, it looks like more Hollow Knight, which is exciting for people. It looks like maybe the game, you know, because the character is a little more capable of a fighter from the outset. You know, I think the little guy in the original like grows as you get more abilities and stuff. The idea of being Hornet, who is a much more capable fighter and gaining powers as her as you go, seems pretty cool. Yeah. Do you have more? It seemed like you just were interested, but not necessarily like having a lot to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, I like you. Like, I never got super into Hollow Knight, but I know people are like diehard fans of it. So I'm like excited for you guys. It looks interesting, but
what's that one meme that's like, I'm excited or sad for you? I don't know.
Yeah.
This was the first like deeply like, okay, I didn't see, you know, this is one of those things. This next game was one of those things that you can't really call. You can't call this game. Predict that it's gonna happen. It is Squanch Games, which is Justin Roiland's game development studio. And so immediately the way I, you know, approached it was say, you know, you're either gonna love this or you're gonna hate it.
You're just gonna leave me here in what? Space?
Yeah.
I like the idea that each weapon that you get has like its own personality and talks to you in a different way, and maybe even has some lore, you know, attached to it. Maybe instead of like in these kinds of games, right? It almost looks like the way I said it. It almost looks like a Outer Wilds, you know, RPG. But maybe instead of an RPG system, it's like, or no, maybe instead of like companions that you have in an RPG, it's the guns themselves are your companions, and you do quests for them, and it'd be interesting.
Stronger.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. What's your take?
I probably fall on the opposite side of the fence. I'm not a huge fan of Rick and Morty and like and that sort of like humor and stuff. But I mean, it looks interesting enough. As long as the writing's good, I'll probably be okay with it. Definitely the gameplay and the concept is enough to pull me in.
Yeah. I definitely get, you know, not being into that. The one thing I do like is that it's not Rick and Morty, right? So like,
yeah,
it's
exactly. That's what I said. If the writing's good, then I'm all in.
So High on Life, and this is coming October, so this is coming soon. And again, we always talk about we always talk about with Xbox every single game that you're even like mildly interested in, right?
Day one with Game Pass.
There it is. Play it day one with Game Pass. You don't have to like invest $60 to $70. You can just go, I'll check it out, I guess, you know, and hop in. We only have 3 minutes, actually. I just realized.
Yeah, I know.
So, is there any game that you want to? We'll do 2 more trailers. I'll see if I can run to the restroom. We'll start with Fern. Is there one that you wanted to hop into?
What's starting?
PC Games Show.
For me, it would either be Flintlock or Light Your Frontier were probably my top ones. And then I know you really liked The Last Case of Benedict Fox.
Yeah. Is there one that you would want to call out, Oscar?
Probably the Last Case of Benedict.
I want to do
super interesting.
Let's do Lightyear Frontier and Last Case of Benedict Fox.
Okay.
So Last Case of Benedict Fox, looking like a cool 2.5D Metroidvania.
Lovecraft.
Set in a haunted house that's like constantly shifting and changing as you go. Just a really we'll skip ahead so that we're
2:14 until show starts.
Yeah. It seems like you're going to this house maybe where your dad lived and he died maybe, and now you're kind of like trying to figure out what happened to him, going through his memories. It just looks really stylish and really, really original. Really liking the depth of the scenes as well here.
It is good to see you.
Yeah, I was sold when we first started seeing them. I was like, no, it's like a puzzle platformer, like the other game we saw yesterday, like the Cub, almost like that. But then it turned into a Metroidvania. I was like, I'm still in.
And the gameplay, the action, like the combat looks really nice and fluid, and so that's looking cool. Spring 2023, so a year out. But again, we know like within a year is what Xbox said about everything at the show. And then Lightyear Frontier, this was a new look at a game that they revealed last year, where you're stuck in a giant. It doesn't seem like you're stuck in there, but you're in a big old mech suit, but you're using it to do cozy things. You're using it to suck up resources, pull trees down, plant seeds, and water them. You have like a little water gun hose thing going on. Just looks like, I mean, we're a sucker for these farming sims and life sims. It just looks like an innovative approach to the usual flight sim, life and farming sim.
That shot with like pulling stuff in almost reminds me of Slime Rancher a little bit too. Because
Slime Rancher was revealed at an Xbox show, and I was wondering if this was like a weird extra thing about Slime Rancher, but I guess not.
Slime Rancher 2 is coming as well.
And then 4-player co-op is really exciting.
Yeah, and it's co-op.
Okay, recap over.
Speedrun recap.
Where are you watching it, Oscar? Oh no, Oscar's dead.
He's gone.
Cry.
Made himself cry, bro.
I don't know why I'm this way. But that's
Day
what I
9,
decided
dude.
to do.
A legend of the industry. And let's be honest,
Good stuff.
a cute boy. Little hot man.
Cute boy, little hot man.
Cute boy,
Hot
man.
take on that one.
Dang, dude, don't hate the player, hate the game. All right, chat.
Right. What did everybody like?
That was day
Anything?
4.
Something?
There, you had to have liked something. Don't lie to me, chat.
Core Keeper?
Not just
Core
Core Keeper.
only Core Keeper.
Come on, chat.
This is a Core Keeper only stream.
What were some highlights, chat? Chat, you're in charge of the show for a second here while I again wrap up our day 3 recap before we start talking about day 4. Yeah, we only we had 3 frogs on the day.
Yeah, I think
Yeah. None in this later show.
Really? It was all the frogs came in Xbox?
Yep.
That honest.
That's why the show was so hard to watch.
Isn't that funny? The day we liked the most had the most frogs.
Less
The show
frogs
of today that
was
we
less
liked
money.
better had more frogs.
Mhm.
Wow.
Just goes to show you. Madrat was ready with the frog counter. And the show just let us all down. I can talk about some of my favorite ones.
Okay, hold on.
I had a couple. Most of these are yours, if I'm honest.
No, I didn't take over.
Yeah, you said jot that down. Write that down.
Hold on, chat. I'm like literally rushing to finish this. You still have to go in and finish something on this story too. You did not do the like SEO description.
I know. I'm gonna.
Talk to chat.
You told me to wait. I said I can talk about some of my
Yeah,
favorite
but then
ones,
I
and
have
you
to
said
pull up the
no.
footage.
No, you don't.
I do. That's how this works.
Chat, what do you want to talk about while we wait?
You got this is
For
where you
me-
earn your chops as a streamer, right here.
I'm literally not a streamer, but okay.
Aren't you though?
So for me, all of today's shows were like too long. Like it's hard in its own way with like all of yesterday's shows. You know, they move so fast and everything is so quick, like the smallest little morsel of content for each game, but in a way that is more effective for me anyway. Like, you know, you get the perfect little bite-sized snippet of a game and it's like it hooks you and you want more, and then you want to go like look for more about it. But today's was like everything just was a little too long about every single game.
It's funny in a way because that's the complaint people have often.
I know, that's the complaint I had last year too. It was like everything moves so freaking fast.
And now you're like,
But this was
speed up!
too much. This was too long.
Bro, you know, all this proves is that ADHD brain has taken hold of us in 2022.
Oh, we know this. Yeah.
What was the
that's my
Victorian?
take.
What was the? Let's go, Void Bomb! Sorry, chat, Padres. Yo.
The Victorian.
I've been trying
game.
to keep an eye on the game. Oh, baby. Luke Voigt. I would take Luke Voigt to a cabin in the woods. And we'd platonically fall in love.
Why platonic? Coward.
That's the meme.
You never know. Be prepared for anything. What about you, Fish? Got any takes?
Yeah, just on the day. Don't get into games.
Don't get into games.
Don't talk about games.
Just give me a second, okay?
Nate will shoot you down if you talk about games one single time.
Day 9 was cool.
Just the whole day, though, too. Yeah, not just the PC Gamer show, but the whole day.
I feel like the Xbox was good. It was a fun mix of games, of AAA games, you know.
What did we end up
PC
giving
game.
Xbox?
Like 8 between 8 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
8.5.
2 8.5s and a 9.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
This one,
Yeah, we didn't
personally,
rate
I would
this
give
one.
like a 6.
Okay, I'll be a little more generous than you and give it a 7. Oh no, Madrut!
Oh no.
In darkness.
Yeah, I agree with everyone.
Okay.
Somewhere between 6 and 7.
Yeah, like we like it,
That.
but it was a lot more the same thing that held Microsoft back from, you know, a 9 for me is what held this back. Oh, again and again and again and again. From getting higher, so I did what you did.
Do it again.
Um,
It's not a system.
I guess we can just start up by continuing to go through some of the trailers. We already did like a decent amount of the trailers from Xbox. But if there was any that you can think of now, Oscar, and
From Xbox?
yeah, just quickly hop into.
Xbox.
We kind of went through most of them.
If not, yeah, I have a batch of a few here.
Yeah, go ahead, jump into them.
One that Madrut called out in the chat again, and again, I just want to give it the love, especially with Madrut calling it out. But was As Dusk Falls. It's not the first time we saw it this weekend, but got a nice extended showcase here. And again, the really interesting thing that we took away this time was that they confirmed it had a multiplayer function. And I'm just super curious how that works. And they said up to like 8 players or something, right?
Yeah,
That's
8
what
players.
I think I remember, yeah.
How does that work? Unless literally, because you know how they said that you play through like multiple perspectives, unless it's literally a matter of each perspective is telling the same story at the same time. So maybe you could all be playing the same like storyline, but then as different people and making those decisions and seeing how they intersect. I don't know. Balaxel with the 100 bits. Welcome.
None of us escaped that night.
Let's shout out Balaxel, who is a great crafting streamer and gamer in her own right over there at Balaxel. Oh, you played Phasma? Did you play the new update? I've heard mixed things.
Really?
Actually, I've heard people are not happy. I was watching Ecdysis actually, Oscar, the other night, and someone came into a stream and said 3 out of 10
What?
on the new update. It's
Well,
like
he said that, or
someone,
Kat said that?
another streamer had just finished his stream
Oh, I don't know.
and came in and said 3 out of 10. Like they there's lots of bugs that came in now with the new update. New ghosts we didn't ask for was the kind of
Oh my god.
approach. Well, because maybe now it's even harder, right? Because now there's 3 new ghosts that it could be anytime, and it's like it's already hard enough to identify ghosts, and now there's, I don't know.
Sounds fun to me. I don't know. I wore a pair of
Oh,
my
no
Balaxel
content.
earrings on stream yesterday. Thanks, Balaxel.
Yo. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Let me, since we're, okay, now back to the recap. There you go, I just did it again. Let me see if I can look up anything about As Dusk Falls.
You won't let me in.
Get rid of the cops.
Hey there.
Evening. Hey, Sam.
Say, you haven't seen 3 fellas in a blue pickup, have you?
Nope. Been here all day.
How you like
Oh,
the desert dream?
well,
Oh, can't complain.
What?
that's not as exciting, but it's the most practical way that they would do gameplay, multiplayer.
Wait, let me guess that you guys all decide.
You just vote.
Yeah.
You just vote on decisions. So 8 people can get on their phones.
What if it's split?
There probably is the person that ultimately makes the final decision every time.
Well,
Play
okay.
it day one with Game Pass.
So yeah, just a shout out to that. This is just again another shout out if you've never checked it out. Grounded is essentially Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the survival open world game. We've played a lot of it. Maybe we'll stream it some. I don't think we've ever streamed it. And it's a very fun game, and it's on Game Pass. Again, it can't be said enough times that every game at the Xbox showcase, minus like 3, maybe like Diablo, and then like 2 other games or something, all were playable on day one, or are all playable day one via Game Pass. And it can't be overstated how cool that is, right? There, I'm gonna leave this open. For people to try new games all the time. Exciting. The announcement here is that they're releasing the full story, launching out of beta. Just really exciting. Yeah, maybe we'll take some time to play this on stream to show people the game.
I'm down. I've been saying that for years.
This one, I feel like
years.
this one I feel like went under the radar because I think something else was happening, or we had gotten some other announcement we were all talking about. Still, Pentiment. This is the medieval art style game And this is by Obsidian, so this is, you know, the guys that did Fallout New Vegas, that have done Outer Wilds, that have done all these other games. And I believe the creative director on this is Josh Sawyer, I'm pretty sure, who is well, I guess he is the studio design director. He is the director of Pentiment specifically, though. You know, behind games like Fallout New Vegas, Icewind Dale, and Pillars of Eternity. So this is a medieval narrative RPG. Okay, it has so you're actually a detective. I didn't realize. Yeah, I missed so much of this, I guess. You're a detective trying to solve a murder. And it's got a limited time thing going on. Almost Majora's Mask-esque, where you have so much time to solve this mystery. Yeah, this is one that I did not give enough care at the time, and is actually maybe one of my highlights of the show. Anyone else have an interesting take on that? November this year is when it comes out.
Art nice.
Art nice. You?
Good visual.
Good visual. Art nice, good visual.
Sold.
This I wanted to highlight just because it had it kind of sells a different game at the outset. I was like, oh, it's another farming sim. Hell yeah. And then through the looking glass, the character goes into an Alice. Is it just Alice in Wonderland? Is that right? That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, Alice in Wonderland.
Yes, but
Okay.
You ever read the book, brother?
Alice in Wonderland inspired. I called Through the Looking Glass out, bro. You're gonna tell me I didn't read the book?
You didn't know the title?
Alice in Wonderland inspired setting, and it looks like it's. I'm gonna call this a 3D Zelda-like with the way the shield and sword situation's going on there. Anyone else have? I really like the voxel look. It's like micro voxels, so it's not like super prominent that it's a voxel game. It's just like the big, 3D chunky pixels.
Love a good chunky pixel.
Yeah. What's the gang's take on this?
Concept is incredibly interesting. Obviously the creature design looks great, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Play
Pretty
it day
game.
one with Game Pass.
Pretty game.
I'm trying to finish this article for you,
got
bro.
in?
I'm on my phone. It will not open it here.
Again, another shout out for a game that is, clearly already established and present. Just a really great trailer though for it. Sea of Thieves Season 7. Really cool update too, because it's bringing the ability to captain a ship. So you could save the ship layout, name the ship, get special perks as the captain, and just a cute little musical trailer that also communicates a lot of information about the update. It's not just a charming little schmarmy little goofy trailer, but it communicates a lot about what's in this update. This is just one of our favorite trailers of I think the weekend. Like, there's a lot of favorite games, right? There's games that look more interesting and things like that, but this is just a really great trailer.
Yep.
Is that your basically a similar perspective?
Yeah, same perspective. And it's just nice that they obviously care enough about the game that there's, even just coming out and saying, like, we're still supporting the game, we're still updating the game, come on back, even if you tried it before, we're 7 seasons in, and still
that's what's fascinating. The season thing, I think they barely started doing, right? Like, seasons
like a
were
year or two ago?
Yeah, like not since day one or anything like that.
Yeah.
And they're already 7 seasons in, like they're moving. So shout out to them. This is not even a shout out to the game, it's just shout out to the movement and the decisions here. Persona is coming to Xbox and PC. I think some of them already on PC, but the Persona 3, 4, and 5, and the best versions of each game, Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 5 Royal, all coming to Xbox. Persona 5 coming to PC for the first time ever. Looks like it's all in 60 FPS, which is, I think, new for Persona 5, maybe? Because that was a PS4 game. Even Persona 5 still came out on PS3 too, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it did. That's wild. Just exciting news. And it's all coming to Game Pass, so prepare to lose literally years of your life to these 3 games, because they take hundreds of hours to beat, and you'll be obsessed. So enjoy that. Similar announcement and discussion happened around or just similar, confirmation of Japanese stuff coming to Xbox. They brought Hideo Kojima out to announce that he is working with Xbox on something. No any kind of details about what it is. No, just I'm doing a game with them, which is really exciting. I don't know if I guess now that the event's over, I can talk about it. Because I didn't want to say anything if I was going to spoil the reveal, right? The rumors are, and this is what had leaked, that it's a horror game starring Margaret Qualley, who, if you don't know who she is, she was in Death Stranding. She's been in a lot of different, she was in, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She was in a movie called Made on Netflix. She's a big actor, but she played Mama in Death Stranding.
Mama.
And so she's gonna be the star of it. It's gonna be a horror game, and it's called Overdose. Is what we are pretty sure is this game that he's working on for Xbox. The main thing to talk about there is it's interesting because obviously he has such a strong connection and partnership with PlayStation, and I don't think that's going away. There's been heavy rumors that he's working on Death Stranding 2 for PlayStation, but now it seems like he's branching out and working with Xbox on this other game. I'm not disappointed at all. I'm sure some Sony ponies are freaking out on the internet about Kojima not working exclusively with PlayStation. I'm happy because it'll be on PC, and everything that Xbox does, they bring to PC too. So I'm happy to get out there and play that day one when it comes out, So that'll be fun. And then the last thing, and we don't have to watch the whole thing at all, but just want to get Starfield takes. It's probably the biggest game that was shown. It's a big budget. Riggs is saying, I don't understand that kind of thought, because more platforms, more support, more chances to make things. Exactly. It's the people that have a weird amount of brand loyalty to one company, and also probably only have the one system. So that's a little disappointing, right? That game is probably not going to come to PlayStation. So if you do only have PlayStation and a bad PC or something, it's a Hideo Kojima game you cannot play, So that is disappointing. But if you don't, in today's market, if you don't have a decent enough PC and a console, then you need to upgrade something. But yeah, Starfield, full 15-minute sequence of gameplay and discussion on the part of Todd Howard himself. First reactions. Go ahead, Oscar. I'll let you start.
It looks incredible. If it's true, big if true is what I'm gonna say. Where they say hundreds of galaxies, thousand planets or something.
Yeah, 100 systems and 1,000 planets to explore.
Yeah, to think we'd be naive enough to believe that is kind of a little bit insulting, but I believe they will have 1,000 planets. I can't tell you if there's going to be content on any of them, on most of them, because it's kind of, I don't know. It's hard to believe that you can create this big of a game and kind of fill it with all the stuff that you would want to see outside of, you know, the main story. I'm sure there's going to be like a quest, you know, one of those. Oh, you arrived just in time. My ship is broken down over there, taken by bandits. Can you go fix it? Whatever. Other than that, I think it's just going to be a whole lot of maybe resource gathering and just kind of a lot of vast emptiness in terms of all this. But from what we see of the actual gameplay, gunplay, the actual story stuff, it looks incredible. You know, they never really fail to kind of capture you with that. So for that, I'm excited, but I'm a little bit hesitant on being fully bought in on the whole, you know, typical, you know, Skyrim. If you go to that mountain, there's a, you know, you can go there. You will do anything. Like, yeah, sure, there'll be planets. I can go there, but what am I going to do there?
Yeah, that's you know, that's what I was saying too. Like, at the same time, the more I think about it, right, it does come into that Star Wars problem where people always complain about, you know, why do we always keep going to the same sand planet, you know, and there's always stories happening there. Like, why isn't there just nothing happening in some of these places here in Star Wars? I do like the idea of going to a planet and it's just completely barren. There's nothing happening, you know, like you just kind of are bearing witness to a barren expanse. But you know, if it is only like there are 1,000 planets, but only even say 100 of them, which is a wild amount, have content on them. If only 100 out of 1,000, right? That's a little. That's still 900 planets that have nothing else going on. Again, you maybe can build outposts on them and kind of make your own little society on some planet. You know, that was a big thing they talked about was crafting. Yo, Madra, get in the power before 7 o'clock. Congrats. Like, so maybe you can do that kind of thing, and like that, maybe that's kind of cool. You colonize the planet yourself, you know. Oh,
never mind. Hard out. If we have to colonize ourselves, come on. I will never be a colonizer.
I will say it's so refreshing to see a Bethesda RPG again. Because look, honestly, what's the last? It was Fallout. You know,
Yep.
Fallout 4. All like what 2015 maybe. And so it's nice to see, like, this was the part I was specifically going to point out, like the dialogue, the first person dialogue camera that, you know, Bethesda's known for. Like, to see that again is like, oh my god, we're back. Like, Bethesda's back. But I'll say I agree. It's a little worrying. It's a little Peter Molyneux-esque, you know, saying, oh, we got all these planets to discover. I kind of, as much as it's more limiting, I kind of hope the way the planet discovery, because they also said you can explore anywhere on a planet, right? There are docks for certain, like, areas that have been colonized by people that you can go stop into, but you can go anywhere else too. I'm curious. I almost prefer it if there are just like select locations on each planet that you can go to, because if it is just completely randomized and generated, I don't know how well that works. You know, No Man's Sky clearly showed that they're still trying to reach the lofty ambitions they promoted. So I don't know. But it's actually looking real. That's the other thing, you know. They announced Starfield, it got delayed, but they hadn't really shown anything. So it is exciting to have like this nice big blow up of gameplay. But that's good for that, you know. Right, soon before release, just really blasting you with stuff. Yeah. Do you have any takes on Starfield?
Not really. I haven't, you know, been like following it in any way. I think it looks pretty cool.
But ultimately, it's not our story.
Like, my only sort of experience with games like that is No Man's Sky. And so, you know,
I mean,
it looks similar in that way.
We like No Man's Sky. I just
Yeah.
like for a game that is supposed to be a narrative single player RPG, like
Right.
I don't know how that works with that, you know.
Yeah. And again, I wasn't super listening, but I assume you talked about how they didn't really show anything narrative in it.
Oh, they did.
Oh.
There was like a whole sequence about like the factions and
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just didn't like.
I really like
not
this.
being familiar with it already. I didn't get a huge sense of like what is happening.
well, that's I really like the more they're leaning a little more into RPG stuff. People complain about, you know, them casualizing, you know, the RPG experience, but this is them kind of leaning back into it. This is the kind of stuff you see in games like the old school Fallout and some other games where you have these traits that both positively and negatively affect. I like this one, Starter Home. You start the game with a house that you can go to, but then you also have a $50,000 mortgage you have to pay.
That's too real, bro.
Which is kind of funny. Yamatsu says, "Are you a fan of procedurally generated systems, or would you prefer pre-generated beforehand?" It just depends, you know, because I really do like No Man's Sky, and that is all procedurally generated, but there's nothing that compares to, you know, the handcrafted stuff. You have to imagine a lot of what's going on in this game. There's got to be some procedural generation to make thousands of I doubt that, you know, they have their people working around the clock to hand build thousands of planets, you know. There are probably some that are, you know, like some of the there's that big hub world they talked about. I'm sure that is you know, hand built, but yeah, I don't know. Last thoughts on Starfield? I
did really like the shipbuilding component.
And the base building too, just like it feels like way better than freaking Fallouts, where you had to do it all in first person and it was like kind of funky as you're walking around. Yeah, being able to like pull out from the top and build stuff is really nice. And then the shipbuilding, which I was trying to find, here it is, looks really good. Fish, any last Starfield comments before we move on?
Show me the trailer of when it launches. That's all.
I mean, it's coming out. I think when they delayed it, I don't know if they picked a month. Let me see.
I think they put a
like
the
February
month in there somewhere. Yeah, I think it was like very early 2023.
Which is good. Okay, they're saying a vague 2023 window, but then they're also talking about that they're putting the finishing touches on it now. So yeah, I assume it'll be something like February. A lot of big games, you know, that's when Horizon came out. That's when February's become a big month for game releases, so I could see that happening. All right, we don't have a ton for the PC gaming show, but we'll quickly go through that as well. This is your time to shine. Where's our listy?
Oh, my list. Bam. It's here.
And yes, Fern just dropped the link in chat for the day 3 recap. The churn machine keeps going. We're constantly writing. We're constantly streaming. We're constantly going.
It's tough, y'all.
For day 3 recap, again, every day we're trying to change up the way we're covering the day's showcases. So for day 3, we really just want to kind of wanted to write a love letter to all the people behind the Guerrilla Collective, the Wholesome Direct, the Future of Play, and the Future Games Showcase, because those 4 shows in particular have been some of the best of the last few years of E3. They all started because of the pandemic and the switch to digital showcases. At the same time, they just work really hard to share a diverse range of games and just bring I mean, there was over 200 games yesterday. a variety of things to gamers in a time where, you know, comparatively, like in the past, these kinds of games were never talked about in these big showcases. So just wanted to really honor them in this our day 3 recap. So again, we're not done fully here. Open that on another tab and read that at your own pace. But yeah, let's start out. I know the first one I immediately want to hop into is Rotwood, which was like the second trailer they showed.
I will have to hop out here.
Okay.
All right.
I have to go get lunch and stuff. I'm starving.
Well deserved.
All I've had is a croissant today, so
We're gonna miss you for demo time.
I know. I might have to hop back in, or I'll be in chat or something.
Yeah, well.
All right. We'll be here.
All right. Yeah, all right. Well, love you guys. Thank you for
Love
having
you.
me.
Have a good lunch.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
But Rotwood is a new game from Clay. Clay is most known for games like
Don't starve.
why did I just complete Don't Starve, Shank, just Clay is just constantly putting out new stuff. What was the other? Oxygen Not Included was another game of theirs. It was like a colony sim. Griftlands, which was a deck builder. They literally are going through all the big PC genres, indie genres of the last few years, and now they're giving us Rotwood, which is a side-scrolling beat-em-up, 4-player side-scrolling beat-em-up. Just beautiful,
Looks so good.
beautiful art and animation. Oh wait, are those frogs? We were saying be on Frog Watch.
I was looking from the start, but I couldn't
Chat,
tell.
we need a frog assessment. Is this a frog?
That I don't think is a frog. It looks like a gourd. Like
Oh,
it's got
you're
like
right.
a
You're
stem.
right. And that's kind of gourdy, right? The little
Yeah.
But it kind of looks froggy too. Maybe it's a frog gourd.
Well, we don't know.
Okay. But yeah, it just looks like a beautiful. When I like emphasize beautiful, like the lighting effects, the shadows, the beautifully smooth animations, super colorful, super inventive character designs here. Just
Love it.
coming 2023. That little sequence that, you know, I don't know if we can read too much into it, of killing off one of the gourd monsters here at the end, and then the head of that thing popping off and landing on someone as an armor piece. Like, is there a crafting, you know, build up armor and weapons thing going on in here? Who knows? But sign us up. Early access coming 2023.
Delicious.
I do want to just shout out this one too, really briefly. This was the witch game. What was the name of the Tactical Witches or something?
Yeah, there was 3 words. I can't remember.
But it looks it's from the developers of Gunpoint and Heat Signature, 2 really cool, very different games. Gunpoint was like a side-scrolling stealth game, and Heat Signature was a really interesting spaceship battler. And it's hard to describe the games that this developer puts together. But just really like the tone and style and humor. It seems like you can have like dialogue in mid-battle. You can it's all about kicking people out of windows in a funny way. Yeah. Let's see. I'll skip ahead to get the Tactical Breach Wizards. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I Am Future had a new showcase. Oh, it was just a shout out to this. I think this was called. Oh, damn it.
Into the recorder.
I'm gonna find it, chat.
What do
Gonna
we have
find it.
here?
Oh, there's just nothing on this page.
They made their way through with a beam of antimatter.
The Invincible.
Did you locate this passage?
Which I kind of called like Firewatch in 70s retro futures space. Just looks really cool. Based on a book by a Russian author. You're kind of just exploring this abandoned location with your person that you have on the radio. Really worth watching. It was like a 5-minute gameplay sequence.
Yeah.
Really worth checking out. Just looks really, really beautiful and interesting. Scrubbing through here on the bottom of the screen. As always, we're not just like saying that these other things are not worth watching, but you know, we only have so much time in the world to talk about these things. Is this Flintlock? That was on your list, right? Or no, that was not on this list. Just kidding.
They did show Flintlock again in here, but
yeah,
I don't know if you need to watch it again.
This one, and I don't know that this is in game. I think this is just a cinematic. It's from the developers of This War of Mine and Frostpunk. So, all you somber decision-making girlies in chat.
Oh my god, stop with the girlies.
Yeah, but this is called Alters. This has a really cool cinematic trailer. Basically, this guy wakes up, he doesn't know where he is, walks into the other room, sees a bunch of people standing around a table looking down on a dead body. He looks over at the dead body and sees his own face, and he jumps backwards, and then all the people that were around the dead body look at him.
Also have his face.
Oh my god! They're all alters. They're all alternate versions of the same person. They're not clones. They said they like emphasize that. So I'm curious if it's like multiverse, like pulling alternate reality versions of the same person into this world. Unless they are drastically changing their gameplay styles, I'll say that this is probably a you know, resource management, decision making, narrative experience where you have to make tough choices. Not quite the, you know, not like a third-person shooter narrative or first-person adventure game, anything like that. It'll probably be this, if you've played This War of Mine or anything like that. Yeah, there you go. Look at all their faces. Sounds like my kind of Law & Order special episode. It just looks really, really, the hook is there, right? You know, you're in immediately. No idea what it's going to look like for the actual gameplay. I've been just guessing, but it's cool. I like how he's like happy after he gets lifted up. He's like, my brothers.
He said, this ain't so bad.
He's like, all right. When we watched it, we maybe brought up the controversial discussion that people always have, you know.
You brought up.
If you make out with a clone, is it masturbation? Is it incest? Like, who knows? How do you classify it? Like, what does that mean, you know?
Asking for a friend.
Not because...
Oh yeah, Super Animora had a little thingy thing.
Yeah, that was cute.
Forgot that was in here.
Okay, I'm trying to find the next thing on your list. Jeez, you had a long break before you had...
I was out for a little bit.
I mean, honestly, again, yeah, there were long shots. Look at this. This is the Arma section, which is a hardcore military sim. Yeah. And it had like a 7-minute, you know, breakdown. Like,
yeah, that's the thing. Like I was saying, so many of these just went on forever. So if it's not something you're in on, you're just like, All
right, Rinks. This was a cute little underwater kind of colony builder game, it seems like, called Abyssal.
Deep below the waves.
Seemed to be like, the Earth is fucked. Let's see if we can make a new life underwater kind of game. So that's pretty cool. And this is from Shiro, a publisher. And then they ended So they had all these kind of very PC gamey kind of you know, colony sim. The other one was like a tactical war game, you know. Like they had all these very familiar game PC genre, popular PC genre games. But then after that, they had this game, which what did we had to have written this? We didn't write this one down? Maybe I did. I wrote like one game down.
This was for you and Oscar.
Carnation. This is Carnation. It looks like it's a 2D narrative about this person that's seemingly dealing potentially with body issues, I think, is what I took away. As you see, there's a lot of grotesque bodies being shown, and then someone says something about, are you sure you're okay with that statue? And it seems like maybe someone made a statue, maybe an ex-boyfriend or something, out of her nude body or something like that. And so maybe that's what's going on here. A lot of body horror, as you can see here. But just looks like a really interesting story. It looks like it's told through a variety of different ways in the gameplay there. You know, like little weird chase sequences. This like swimming portion, like it just right up my alley for sure. This is I love games like this. And there's something about pixel art, top-down narrative, like RPG Maker games that still really can provoke a lot of fear in a weird way. So shout out to Carnation.
I'm too baby for this.
I guess it was right before our next look at I Am Future, which is another not quite a life sim, but you know, you play as a guy who after the world gets flooded is living on the rooftops of a ruined world and trying to make a new life up in the up above it all. Has a cute it got a cute cinematic trailer here where the bird wakes him up out of hibernation.
I have no idea where the hell I am. But damn,
that's so funny.
This place is gorgeous.
So he's been asleep for 6 years, it said, right? And it says, welcome to Eden. I think maybe the idea is he was meant to be like put on a spaceship or something and taken somewhere new. And I think maybe the twist is no, he just got left here, but it's been so changed by nature and flooded and left to nature that like he thinks it's a whole new place. That's kind of fun. But yeah, just a cute little cinematic trailer showing off a little more story, a little more character, a little more personality. Looks really good. I know this has been on your watch list since the beginning. Cute little post-credit sequence here that is a shocker. I feel like Balaxel would love this. Bird murder.
Balaxel's brand.
Balaxel's murder brand.
Bird murder. Or, if I may,
Birder. System Shock.
Thank you.
System Shock remake looks really good. Didn't know they were going with like a pixel 3D aesthetic for this remake of a really old school first-person adventure or first-person shooter first-person shooter RPG. It's kind of hard to immersive sim, hard to nail it down. But if you recognize the shock part of System Shock, it was a major inspiration for games like BioShock and things like that. So really cool to see this get reinvented for a new age. Soon coming up. I do want to call out the fact that vaguely embarrassed by the way that I literally, no joke, like squeed when I realized that this was Immortality.
Do you want to tell us what we're about to see?
Well, I don't want to spoil
So this is Immortality again. We've talked about it again and again and again.
And we won't stop.
Sam Barlow, a new game from the developer Sam Barlow and Half Mermaid, his team, the creator of Her Story and Telling Lies. two of the most inventive full motion video mystery games where you're combing through clips to unearth some secrets. So in her story, you're trying to discover what happened in this murder case. In Telling Lies, you're kind of unearthing several videos from several different people's lives, and both of those games, the way you kind of navigate through the clips is you look up words, and it pulls up clips of when people said that particular word. And that was kind of the main system, and that was already, I would have played 10 more games with that system, right?
It's so fun.
And then Immortality comes and they just completely reinvent the wheel here with of their system, you know, and it looks so fucking interesting. Essentially, we were talking over in the main part of this, but essentially you click on visual motifs, even not even the same thing, because this first part you click on the crucifix and it doesn't take you to a normal crucifix, it takes you to a Polaroid crucifix, you know. You click on this person's face, you get a similar angle of a face on another screen, and the way they pitch it, and I doubt it'll be this open, but maybe it is. Maybe they're geniuses over there. But the way they pitch it is they say you can pause at any time and click on anything in the scene, and if they can find a visual match in another movie, so the game's story takes place across 3 different movies that this same actress Marissa Marcel was in. If you can find it, if you click on something and it finds a visual match in one of the other movies, it'll take you to that, and you're just jumping around trying to piece together what happened to this actress Marissa Marcel. Just
so good. So
good. Cannot wait to play this.
I kind of really would love to do a Sam Barlow
24-hour stream,
like not 24 hours, but maybe like a weekend or something, like one each day.
Yeah, for sure.
Like leading up to this coming out.
Yeah,
like a
I would be
little
down.
Marathon.
I would be down.
That would be sick. Because we never streamed them.
No, yeah, I think weirdly this is the one that's a little harder to stream, or like, you know, the not harder to stream, but the fun thing about what we did with those games, with both of those games, we played with friends. The first game we played with FlSHPASTE, and we literally broke out a notebook. We were writing down all these concepts and ideas in our notebook, trying to get through and trying to solve this mystery, trying to piece together what was happening. And then the second game we played with FlSHPASTE again, and our friend NJ Reen, who I think is still in chat potentially, and same thing. We broke out a whiteboard, you know, we were writing down things because it was all word based, right? So you're thinking of like, okay, what word can I put in here, right? But here it's just visuals. And so it's like a little less like of that, you know, I got to think of the right word. And instead, like, I mean, I guess it's still the same thing. Like, oh, wait, that face, that he kind of looks like that one guy from the other movie, and maybe if we click on him here, like it'll provoke something, you know.
It'll be more like, oh my gosh, I've seen that before. Click on that.
Yeah. Which is cool. Always identifying patterns, baby.
Love to identify a pattern.
So cannot wait for that.
Sorry.
I did have you write this one down as well. This is Welcome to Nivalis. And so again, we love a life sim, shop management game. There's a lot of those these days, but a truly unique take. A lot of the shop management and life sim kind of hand in hand experiences that I've seen have been more medieval, right? It's been like, oh, I got to go out to a dungeon and slay some slimes and then bring slime back to my shop to sell to adventurers. Here, you're running a cafe in a cyberpunk setting. And that's just a cool new mix-up on the genre. You could go fishing, you can explore the city, you can garden. I guess this is how you get your ingredients for your recipes at your cafe. It just looks a new kind of cozy shop and life sim game, you know. different take. That's one of the things we're all about these days. That's one of the things we loved about Roots of Pacha, which we played yesterday on stream, being a caveman farming sim, life sim game, and all that comes with that setting, is so different.
Yeah, and it's just cool also to explore like farming and survival in an urban environment instead of like
like even the I just didn't catch that the first time, the idea of like growing crops in little pods in your apartment or something, like that's the kind of thing that is more relatable in a way to what people are living day to day than the idea of going out and getting a giant plot and digging and hoeing the land and everything, a cool again, just a cool mix up of a familiar genre. This next one was hyped by PC Gamer themselves. It's from Easbird, I think is. They said it's a Welsh development studio, which is really cool. It's called Demon School. And it's very reminiscent of old school Persona before they jumped into, Persona 3 and did the like more 3D dungeon crawling kind of aspect. This is like a turn-based tactical RPG, but it clearly has this anime aesthetic. It's got you're all high schoolers in the I'm assuming eponymous demon school, going through and exercising the demons that are around, and it still seems like it has that Persona daily schedule thing going on. At some point you'll see in the upper right it'll say like February 2nd, and you have a certain quest you have to do, and you have to Tuesday morning, Monday afternoon, you have to like kind of accomplish things before a certain time of day to move the plot forward and stuff like that. This just looks really cool. A really cool visual style from the pixel art of the characters in the game, the 3D art of some of these enemies, kind of PS1 era 3D art, and then the really like bold manga inspired kind of art of the characters themselves. Just all around really interesting. What's your vibe check on this?
It's cool. I mean, I think it's more of something you'll play, but I think it's got a really cool look.
It's at least maybe one of those, because I feel like even when I played Persona back in the day, you kind of peeked over and we would be interested here and there when I would be playing those games. So kind of probably the thing you would peek over at and check out and maybe not, like you said, not play yourself, but let's see. Scorn, we can just pretend didn't happen. That's okay.
We didn't have to see that twice today.
Shout out to those developers, though.
It's not their fault that we're weenies.
There's an audience. If you didn't see this, I just want to quickly shout it out. If you're a fan of GoldenEye on the N64, people are making a modern version that still has that same exact style. If there's a multiplayer system here, that's going to be huge. Another cool thing in here, there you go, is you can make your own levels and share those online. So I think that'll be huge for a game like this, to have a big community, of people making. Someone will inevitably recreate the entirety of GoldenEye on the N64, So that's pretty cool. That's called Agent 64, and there is a demo available today as well. The next one I want to find, because it was actually really cool. It was Leysara, right? That was Leysara?
Yes, Leysara Summit Kingdom.
So again, another colony city builder game. PC gaming show, they know their audience, right? They know the people that are playing and watching PC games here. And So this is a city colony builder, but you're building on a hillside. You're building on the side of a mountain. And so it seems like it captures everything that comes with that, including, as you saw there, landslides. But just one, the visuals are very nice. If this is the music of the game, it's very nice. And just again, the more unique takes on these genres that we're so familiar with in one way or another, like our friend Ben over at Infinity Break just started going medieval over on Infinity Break Gaming, and that's kind of what you're used to, right? You're used to like either space or like medieval colony builders. And so now this one being seemingly also honoring and representing the cultures of like maybe like Nepal and like that kind of area, you know, of the people that do live on mountainsides, you know. Really cool in that way. Just an interesting take, and I'm curious to see like how that works with the landslides. Like, are you just fucked? Can you rebuild? Are the people gonna be okay? You know, like very curious just how that manifests in the gameplay. Did you? I know you don't really play these kinds of games so much, but
I don't. But this was a big highlight for me today. I just think it looks really cool. I love the style, and even if it is that kind of game where it's like avalanches are gonna happen and you're kind of fucked, like sometimes I just like that kind of game anyway.
I don't know what it is. You like get so frustrated with so many things, but you love a game where you just get fucked over and you have to start from scratch. Like,
well, I'm not very good at games,
so it's like, haha.
If it's inevitable, it's a little easier actually than if it's just my fault because I fucked up, you know?
I feel that.
And if it's just like an inevitable cycle and it's like you just have to keep trying,
it's going to happen.
That can be fun.
You can't stop it. It will keep happening.
The moral of the story is you do your best and you try again. You know?
What? That's nice.
But yeah, I think that looks really cool.
Yeah, shout out to Lay Sara. This one I think is half the game itself and half this part of the presentation. New Blood again is known for being kind of the smarmy bad boys of the indie gaming industry. New Blood, come at me. I mean it with love. And they have a really interesting library of games. But the real big highlight of this moment was when Dave.
What's up, PC gamers? We're back again.
I believe his name's
what
Dave.
You just saw was everything New Blood's got going
Looks
on.
like he could be a Dave.
A medieval to Black Labyrinth, Ultra
Let me make sure.
Act 2, Faith, Fallen Aces, and a brand new update
Dave.
of Dusk that's
Dave Oshry.
HD models and weapons.
I didn't want to be wrong.
So we're doing it anyway. Now,
but he just has a ton of personality. He makes these jokes about, last year we revealed a bunch of games that we're working on. Sorry, we don't have any of those games. And then this ongoing little joke between the PC gaming show and Dave and New Blood being, that they've always promised to show a trailer for Gloomwood, and for one reason or another not been able to show a trailer of Gloomwood. One year they just forgot it. Another year they just they kicked him for Gabe Newell to talk about some stuff, and it wasn't even like anything major. He just was like, "Hey, it's me, Gabe." Like he was just like, I remember last year he didn't really announce anything, And then finally this year, after 3 years, showing off a trailer for Gloomwood, which is cool in its own. He's threatened
there was a puppy.
He threatened to drown this puppy. Again, we want you to check these things out too if you missed it. So check out Dave's slow mental decline in this section.
The section was the best, I agree.
Brought the energy up. This
was after like kind of a sleepy little chunk.
Yeah, and then it kind of brought the next few games were really interesting. Like this was like a bring the energy back up
Dave said, "Wake
section. But yeah, this is Gloomwood, which is basically like Thief with some like magic stuff, clearly some Resident Evil stuff being shown. Wait. What the the hell happened?
Mayhem.
What? What?
We have a group of
That wasn't me, Dave.
from medieval.
Don't come for me. That was so weird. It just like
Yeah.
skipped past Gloomwood. Dave, I'm sorry. But yeah, Gloomwood is a thief-like from the old school, early 90s PC era. Visually is reminiscent of those games. Here's where, you know, I said Resident Evil-esque inventory management. I played the demo for this when they first were talking about it a couple years back. It seems really cool. Stealth focused, like the Plague Doctor enemy aesthetic, and just more almost. It's not. I don't think it is Cthulhu stuff, but almost Cthulhu-esque oppressiveness of the area you're into. Yeah, shout out to Gloomwood, and shout out to New Blood for constantly bringing the energy when it comes to these showcases. They always have fun URLs for their games as well. I think you shouted out witches.cool being your favorite one. Did Gloomwood have a URL here in their trailer?
I can't remember. I remember that they specifically brought it up.
Thiefwithguns.com.
That's all right. It's nowitches.cool.
Nowitches.com. We're almost done here. It's funny enough, it skipped ahead to the next game
Yeah.
that we were gonna talk about, and this is back Firewall, and you kind of don't know what's going on in this game at all. It looks like it could be a really, you know, Portal-esque meta Stanley Parable narrative puzzle kind of experience. But it sounds like the game takes place entirely inside of a phone. And the narrator / companion for the story is the phone's operating system that refuses to update. It does not want to update. So it's inevitably going to be some story about not being able to or wanting to move on from something. And
okay, so I do have
I just love a game like this, Inscription kind of vibes, and then just the meta, interesting way that it deals, you know, handles like several different genres in one, you know, and is constantly changing on you. It feels like that's what's gonna happen in this game too. Like I could see that being a moment in the game, like you're in the middle of some section, solving some puzzle, it's like really intense, you're like, oh, this is so hard, and then all of a sudden it just goes, oh, you need to update, and then this guy comes, you know, like it feels like this could be in the game, and love stuff like that. So really cool looking and sounding and concept, and good humor in the trailer.
Yeah, that was a great trailer.
I'm trying to, I just want to see if they have coming this year, so it's not like far off at all. Man, I have so much. Last year I didn't do this so much. I have so many emails to send, like to different developers, right? Of, hey, I want to check this game out. When you have the opportunity, please, you know, consider us, because there are tons of games, and probably this entire list is, you know, games that we would want to cover, but there's just so many. And then last but not least, the entire chat popped off.
The crowd went wild
for the latest. It seems like every year there's like one big open world survival crafting game that kind of takes off. Last year was Valheim, you know. Every year there's a new one, and this year it feels like Core Keeper could take that title. Core Keeper is a really cool open world survival game where you're deep in these like caves, and you have to mine out these caves, and it has like a boss rush. I'm trying to see what this is. Is this like a slingshot, or what are they doing there? Kind of has like a boss rush thing where you summon bosses. It's kind of reminiscent of Terraria. You summon bosses and you take them out one by one and progress through each boss as you go. Looks like they're adding a ton of content in this new update. It's in early access, so it's one of those games where, you know, you reach a certain point, and yeah, I thought that was funny. You reach a certain point and you're kind of out of content, you know, which is always disappointing. Just watch this character. I feel like as they get hit by these things, their armor breaks. I just thought that was a funny little detail. Just as you can see, really pretty pixel art. It's a big co-op experience. Another thing I like to highlight about Core Keeper is it has like kind of class-based stuff where you pick your class when you start. You can be like a farmer, a gardener. There's like cook and gardener.
There were like 8 different ones.
Yeah, like an adventurer, a miner. Like you really can hyper focus on one thing. And that helps because the way you progress skills, and there's skills in all those different topics, right? The way you progress skills is by doing them more, and you get more if you're focusing on what you should be focusing on, and it's just a really cool thing, and excited to see them have a new big update, and not only have a new big update, but have
the most exciting thing we saw
coming very soon, coming June 15th. That's just 3 days away. So shout out to Core Keeper, the last exciting thing for a chunk of our audience here. You know, again, it's kind of sad because the PC gaming show does often end up being, you know, a big highlight. And so like for them to be the one that dropped the ball in a way this year is a little sad, to say the least.
It's very interesting.
But that will do it for today's showcases. Did our recap. Scary. Go away. This like webcam software I use popped up 3 different times while I was
trying to jump scare us.
I believe we intend to at least play a few demos today, like we kind of did yesterday. Get some hands-on with some of the games, but we will take a 10-minute break, 15-minute break or so, and come back and play some demos for you. Again, if there's anything that you in chat saw that has a demo coming that you are interested in, let us know, and we'll consider picking your game. I guess I should actually bring YouTube back up and put something on while we're gone.
Good call.
Here, we can have Jeff Keighley talk to us. Jeff, it looks like, did a stream earlier today where he answered questions about the Summer Game Fest, which was the first thing that kicked everything off on Friday. Was that Friday?
Yes.
Or Thursday? No, it was Thursday.
It was Thursday.
Sheesh. Time is an illusion. So let me put that on the screen. We can just let that run and let Jeff Keighley talk to us about Summer Game Fest. He's a good guy. He's a good lad. We love ourselves some Jeff Keighley. Yeah, but stick around. We will be right back in 10-15 minutes. We're just gonna stretch, maybe see about, you know, caffeinating in some way, and then we will play some games together. I think we got the URL that I think Fern's trying to, I don't think celebrating was in it.
It was. Hold on. I'm going to find it.
It's capital C. Oh, I think it is capital based. Like that matters.
I didn't know it was case sensitive. Okay, hold on.
Hold on, chat.
Here we go.
While we're gone, if you don't want to watch Jeff.
If you say, Jeff, kind of boring, then you can read our recap of yesterday.
Again, the way this works, we are the team, right? We are the team that does VGG. We don't have someone who was watching and writing all day while we watched all these events, right? So it takes us, you know, we watch the show, then we stop streaming around 4 or 5 every day, and then we take some hours to just breathe and relax a little bit, and then we get to work writing and editing and everything. So the cycle is like a day behind every time, but that's, you know, the fact that we're getting these out at all is pretty ridiculous.
Agree.
But yeah, go ahead and check out the Day 3 recap, which is all about celebrating the folks behind the Wholesome Direct, the Guerrilla Collective, the Future of Play Direct, and the Future Games Showcase, because they are all excellent. They've all kind of brought the same energy every year. They've put together great shows, and they bring hella games. There's 200 this year, and I feel like they always kind of reach that kind of number. And we're not even, technically, the Guerrilla Collective is not even done. We'll talk about that later, but they are still going later this week. So, yeah, exciting. Go ahead and check out that article. Again, we will be right back. We're not done. We'll be right back. Please don't leave. Please hang out with us. We love you. But we will be right back. We need to go stretch and stuff. Alrighty.
See you soon.
Take it away, Jeff.